Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And of course, we are back with another speed build. And for today's speed build, I actually decided to do Lil Simsie's latest shell challenge. She called this shell in particular the Yeehaw shell. But I figured I would do this one because it is like a little bit smaller. It's actually it was, I believe, a at least small home, if not a tiny one. I think it's just small though. But I decided to go ahead and do it because I wanted to do a smaller build anyways, because I have been spending so much time with all of my builds lately that I just wanted to do something really quick. I will tell you, this build took me far longer than it should have. I'm pretty sure it took me like a little over 3 hours, but I was distracted sometimes because I was watching YouTube videos the whole time, and so that I will say probably contributed to it a little bit. But then also I'm just an indecisive person, so I struggled a lot. But I decided that I wanted to do something a little different. I don't think I've ever really done like a house or any sort of build really in Solani. So I think I have been working on a Barbie build, but I kind of stopped because it was very overwhelming, and that is in Solani. But I've never done like a really proper like beach house in Solani using any of the build or buy items from the Island Living pack. So I figured I would do a little beach house in Solani. But like I said, throughout this build, I was just really indecisive. So it was a little bit hard for me to kind of decide on what to do for it. But I decided right away that I kind of wanted to do a 2-unit house where like the top half was one unit and the bottom half was another unit. So that's kind of the way I was thinking about it, at least initially, as far as like trying to figure out the layout for everything. But the biggest thing that I struggled with was the windows, because I wanted it to kind of look like a slightly like older, very hut, like, well, not necessarily hut, but like, you know, well-worn beach house. You know, it's not anything new or anything like that. Because I kind of wanted it to have like that idea of like at least being kind of affordable as far as a rental goes. So I really struggled with that. But I think it ended up being pretty good and whatnot for the most part. One problem, as you'll see here, is I guess not problem, but I originally really liked the idea of having the stairs come from the little balcony area I had up top and as the entry point for the second unit. But I did not realize before I started building that it was on an angle or like a diagonal, so I could not put the stairs there. So I really struggled on like where to fit the stairs, but I ended up just removing the part of the roof that I had on the other side and making that the entryway. And then I realized that there is no matching stair railing for the little like wood-esque vents that they have in the Island Living pack. And so I was really annoyed by that. And so I just like put something there temporarily, and I think I fixed it and like you just use a base game railing eventually. But I was so annoyed by that. But I decided to go ahead and put the little house on some, what are they called? Like slates, whatever. I don't know. Some sort of foundation situation. Kind of similar to like a lot of the other builds in the area, because I figured, you know, consistency. But I always just struggle with like when you're using like several different packs and like whatnot, finding like matching swatches and matching like colors. So like it was really hard to find like matching wood colors and everything. But you know, we made it work eventually. But I figured the way I kind of wanted to go about it was I wanted the bottom unit not necessarily to be like older, but like maybe not as upgraded and like kind of look a little bit more homey than the top unit. So I used slightly different things because I was gonna have them be very similar, like as far as like your basic like appliances and like the bathroom, but then I figured I wanted it to be slightly different, so I used the Jungle Adventure counters in this one, and the kitchen obviously is going to be really small because it is already a small build that I'm literally putting into 2 different areas. So there's that. But I ended up using mainly for this build Island Living, obviously, Jungle Adventure, and I did use a lot of the stuff from the new For Rent pack. I didn't know what to do with this little nook, so I initially went and put this little cabinet in there because I just didn't know what to do with it, but I hated how it looked, so I eventually later on realized I could totally make the bottom unit or allow the bottom unit to also have like a little like back deck entry situation. So I eventually put that and like make that like a little back deck vibe instead of having that cabinet there because I just hated it. But for the bottom unit, I vibed that it would be someone living there that like liked a lot of color and whatnot, and so I decided to go for like a nice bright yellow, and then the bathroom is like that blue for the most part. And for the upstairs unit, I wanted it to be someone that was like a lot more chill and like just like more slightly on the neutral side, but nothing like too crazy as far as color. So I kind of just went for this like greenish kind of vibe. I couldn't really find the perfect green, but I didn't want anything that was like too like bright. So I just ended up going for that like paler green color. But I love the tiling, like the floor tiling that came with the For Rent pack. I just think they're so pretty, and so I find myself that I using it all the time. And I decided to just do, because both of the bathrooms are obviously going to be really small, so I tried to just do like really simple small things. So I just did like the wall shower situation, and then I used the tiny living toilet. And then for the sink, I ended up using the For Rent pack. I was going to try and see if I could fit some counters on the side, but there just wasn't enough room. But I just decided to stick with the For Rent sink anyways. And obviously I do realize that I put it right in front of the window, and I do realize that later, and obviously I can't put a mirror there, but I just decided that, you know, I'm sure that the person here would much rather be able to breathe in some nice fresh air while they're washing their hands rather than looking in the mirror. And I do put a mirror somewhere else in the house. So they do have a mirror, you know, because obviously I'm sure you're gonna still want a mirror to, you know, make sure you're looking okay. But this is the bedroom area. I did think about closing it off because there was enough room that I could like have a completely separate area for the bedroom, but I figured to just keep it nice and open that I wouldn't add the little door or anything. But I really liked mixing in like those three main packs, For Rent and Island Living. I don't know why. I can never remember pack names. But I think they just worked really, really well together because they kind of all have like slightly like traditional, very cultural vibes to them. So they like really suit each other very well. And they have at least similar swatching and everything. But I did put just like that little folding divider situation there to kind of divide the room from the rest of the living area. And for this bathroom upstairs, I pretty much do very similar things in it, at least initially, but then obviously this bathroom is a lot smaller because it's only a 4 tile bathroom, and I did not playtest it as I was building it, and so I did have to, after I like finished filming, playtest it, and I realized that the way I had the bathroom laid out was not like functional, so I did have to move things around. I moved the toilet to where the shower is, and then the shower where the toilet was, and so that made it more functional than it was. So for this unit, I kind of vibed that the person living here was probably someone who definitely is like someone who likes a little bit more modern kind of vibes, and obviously definitely enjoys like the beach lifestyle, but you know, still likes to have like a modern feel to their living space. So that's kind of what I was going for this one. And so for this kitchen, I did end up going with the Island Living counters because I just felt like those were a little bit more modern than the Jungle Adventure ones, but I still used like the Jungle Adventure fridge. I did give them the Jungle Adventure stove because I felt like that one was like a little bit fancier than the one that I gave to the other one unit. At least I thought I gave the other unit a different stove. I honestly don't remember. But I obviously they have this back patio area, so I just put like a nice little grill there, and like a little table next to it so they could put the food there. And then I also got the island living picnic table to put there as well so they could have that area, because I honestly wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to fit like a eating like dining area inside, because this unit is obviously like a little bit smaller than the one downstairs, so it's like a lot tighter, but like I think it's still like nice and cozy and like, you know, very comfortable and like fully functional to like live in. So, you know, the couch is like right at the end of the bed, and but you still have like a TV and everything. You have all your basic needs. And I'm sure if you're living that close to the beach, you know, you probably don't want to be home all the time. But I definitely also thought that like both of them would be very plant-esque. Like they would love to have plants. So I do try to eventually put more plants all throughout. But here's when I decided to add in the little like extra deck area for the bottom unit. And I pretty much kind of do the same thing that I did to the top unit with just adding in the little grill and the picnic table. I did struggle. I struggled a lot with figuring out what door to put here because I wasn't sure what to do. But then I realized that like I did have like the like darker wood door on the upper unit, but then I realized I just didn't like how it contrasted so much with the wood paneling of the outside. So I changed that so it's like to better matching the outside. And so that's kind of what I kind of went for with this one on bottom as well. And so that's basically what I did there. And then I started to kind of add in a little dining sitting area for them to be able to eat and everything in there. And I did actually figure out a way to add that for the upstairs unit as well. And I just went for very like plain, very simple vibes here. I was slightly worried that it wasn't going to be functional, but it actually ended up working, and so they still can have full access to the outside and everything, and it works out fine, so that's great. And then here I finally I always tend to forget about changing the lighting, and so sometimes I end up like never changing it, but I did remember this time, and so I kind of added in mainly the island living lighting because I just thought obviously it fit the area better. This is where I finally realized that I did not have anywhere to put a mirror in the bathroom, so I just put a mirror in the bedroom. And then I, at this point, am basically just going through all of the different packs that I was using and just trying to figure out some like decor pieces to put in there. So I did change the rug in the bedroom, and I added that little mermaid chest thing. So I figured that this person would definitely be very into like the culture of Sulani and everything. So figured they would have that, or like wanted to add that. And then I found this like little divider thing, and I thought that this looked really nice, and like I liked the little curtain. So like I feel like the curtain, if you want to, it can give you like a little bit more privacy. I don't know. You have a good bit of privacy with the folding thing too, but I just really like the look of the other one, so I did change that out. And then I just added those bongos to the front area because I didn't know what else to put in the front area because there wasn't that much room, and I didn't want it to be overcrowded because it is such a small living space. So I ended up just putting those little bongos there. And then I didn't realize, but they have like a module little like shelving that come with the island living pack. And so I just put that in the kitchen area so that could like act as like some storage space for that. And then I just started looking for things to add to the walls and stuff, just in these certain areas where it was like really bare. So I just added those like pictures there. And then I actually really liked the idea of putting those lights on the wall in the bedroom instead of having the overhead light in the bedroom, just to make it like a little bit more moody. And then, like I said, I did want them to have like lots of plants in both of the units. So I go through all of the different decoration stuff and go and add in like a lot of the greenery and stuff like that. And then I found this from the For Rent pack, and I thought like it really went well and would look nice because I was gonna originally add shelving on that wall and then like add some clutter to it, but I really liked the way that looked, so I decided to put that there instead of any shelving. I honestly haven't really played much with like the actual gameplay of the 4 rent pack, but I did remember that they had the little tea kettle, so I figured that the upstairs unit, like I vibe that they would definitely like be into like pouring like nice little tea for themselves and stuff like that. So I added that there, and then I also added in some of the little other things to put on the counters just so it wasn't completely bare. And for the little like area that's on the outside, I did not know what to put there, so I was trying to figure out like some plants to put there, but I really struggled on getting anything to fit there. It was very hard for me to figure that out. But I'm basically just trying to add in as many plants wherever I can, just to, liven up the area a little bit. And I honestly was not sure like if I could really like make this look good because it's very out of my element, but I actually think that it actually ended up turning out looking pretty good. Um but I always struggle with like the whole clutter aspect of things, but I kind of just was trying to make my life a little bit easier by only focusing on like certain packs so it could still like fit the vibe of the area, and I think that actually really helped me. I almost forgot to add in trash cans to both of the units, but I did add that in, and then I used that 3 mailbox one instead of like any of the bigger ones, because I figured, you know, that would work better than just having one mailbox or like any of the bigger ones or anything like that. And then I just do a few more added things to the inside. And I struggle so much with placing things down on the countertops all the time. But I figured that having some like tea bags would be really, really nice to add a little bit of stuff and clutter to that area. And then I also felt like there needed to be something in this space, so I did go and add in a little table there, and I wanted to add in a few like activity things for them for both of the areas. So I put a little like yoga sitting stool thing there, and for this one I really didn't know what to put in here, but I ended up finding the little like professional camera thing, and so maybe they could be like into photography or something, I don't know, but I just wanted them to have like a little bit of like indoor activities that they could have as well. But they live really close to the beach, so maybe they're just into outdoor stuff. But I really tried to do my best at adding the greenery to this house, but I just struggle so much. I tried to basically just mimic what was around them, so I used a lot of that like big like lushy green, I don't even know what it is, bush grass situation, just to really fill in the outside of the house so it like looks a little bit better. But it was a struggle because I also kept on having this problem where even though I had the foundation low, it would still like be hovering over the ground, and so I really struggled. But I cut most of that out, so you didn't have to see that. But I really, really struggled with that. But I think it actually ended up turning out well. I did, after I was playtesting it, I did add a little bit more greenery just to the back because there was a lot of like stuff in the back of the house, so I figured to kind of make it like look a little bit more cohesive to add that. And then for this little bit of like roofing in the back here, I really didn't know what to put. I wanted to try and do the similar thing that I did to the front by just adding like some sort of plant on top, but it just wasn't working out, so I ended up just doing like a small little roof piece right there. I didn't love how it ended up looking, but I honestly had no idea what else to put there. But nonetheless, this video is coming to an end, just doing some last minute touch-ups and whatnot. So I will go ahead and close out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys for the next one. See you soon. Bye.